Welcome back to Horror Movies.
Today, I will be showing you an American anthology horror film from 2020 titled Books of Blood. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie opens up with a bookseller, arranging books into the shelf. While he is doing so, he hears some strange sounds in his shop. Suddenly, he notices a thug named Bennett coming after him with a knife. The bookseller tries to escape from the place but eventually gets caught by Bennett. He pleads for some more time to return the money he owes to Bennett, but the latter is having none of it. In a last-ditch attempt to save himself, the bookseller informs Bennett about a rare book called the Book of Blood. On the other hand, we see Bennett's driver, Steve, waiting for him outside the store. Despite the bookseller giving him the location of the rare book, Bennett eliminates him. After that, he comes out of the store and heads towards the location of the book. The scene then shifts to a young college student, Jenna, who lives with her parents in a luxurious house located near the sea. Jenna does not seem to be a normal child, as she draws scary pictures and is intrigued by repetitive sounds. Even the sounds of chewing, water dripping and laughing could outburst anger inside her. She is also prescribed some medicines which she refuses to consume as they make her numb and lousy. In order to distract herself from the irritating sounds, Jenna uses a noise-canceling headphone. At night, Jenna overhears her parents talking about sending her to a rehabilitation center so that she can be back on track and behave normally. Unhappy to hear this, she decides to leave the house and run away. Late at night, she enters her parents' bedroom and steals some money kept inside the safe. After that, she packs her clothes and heads straight to the bus station. Jenna asks for a ticket with the counter lady and buys herself a ticket to Los Angeles. While getting out of the station, she notices a man staring at her. Hurriedly, Jenna gets on the bus which is ready to head out. Inside the bus, she is irritated by various sounds and also feels like someone is following her. Afraid, she gets down on the next stop and heads towards a cafe to find some place to spend the night. On her way, she is nearly taken out by a fast-moving car. She enters a cyber cafe and searches for nearby accommodations. Finally, she finds a room at a homestay and goes there. Ellie and Sam, the owners of the homestay, welcome her and ask her to take rest. Meanwhile, a young boy, Gavin, who has come from Australia, approaches Jenna and tells her that he is also a guest in the homestay. They talk casually with each other and at last exchange their numbers. Late at night, Jenna hears some strange sound coming from the walls of her room. She wakes up and approaches the wall to find a cockroach oozing out from it. Afraid, she steps back and finds Ellie inside her room. After that, Jenna sleeps and sees the same man from the bus station in her dream. She opens her eyes and notices the man standing at her window. At this time, Jenna tries to move her body parts and speak but cannot do any of it. Later, Ellie and Sam enter her room and take the measurements of her body parts. Jenna is seeing all this but can do nothing to stop it. She believes all this to be her visions as she has skipped her medications. The next morning, Jenna goes to a nearby cafe to have a coffee with Gavin. She waits for Gavin, but he does not show up. There also she notices the same strange man following her and starts running away in fear. She returns back to the homestay and tells Ellie all about her mental illness. Ellie consoles her and suggests she stay there for a few days to freshen up her mind. Listening to Ellie and experiencing her friendly nature, Jenna decides to stay. Late at night, Jenna again hears some scratching sound coming from the wall of her room. She takes a closer look into the wall and discovers a secret cabinet. When she opens the cabinet, she is shocked to find a zombie-looking woman inside with her eyes and ears stitched. At the same time, she gets a text message from Gavin. She then urges Gavin to call the cops, telling him that it's an emergency. To everyone's surprise, it turns out that Ellie is the one who is messaging Jenna from Gavin's phone. Ellie knocks at Jenna's door and inquires with her if everything is okay. Now, Jenna feels that she is in the wrong place and that Ellie and Sam are dangerous. As soon as Ellie opens the door, Jenna attacks her and tries to leave the house. She approaches every door but each of them appear to be locked. Desperate to get out of the house, Jenna finds a secret path. She opens the blocked way and finds many zombies like people kept inside. Making her way through, Jenna manages to reach the ground floor, but when she tries to exit, she is confronted by Sam. Ellie also arrives there and attacks her with a sedative syringe. In the next scene, Jenna lies on a chair half-conscious and the couple is ready to perform some experiment on her. Ellie explains to Jenna about how she lost her nurse job and is using her skills to keep her family together under one roof. It turns out that they had already done their experiment on Gavin. Later, Ellie injects Jenna with a catatonic syringe in her eye. But when she is about to stitch Jenna's eyes, someone knocks at the door. Ellie goes to open the door to find the same old man who is following Jenna. He inquires if Jenna is still staying there. Ellie requests him to come inside and offers him a cup of tea. She also directs Sam to finish the man. Turns out that the man is actually the father of Jenna's boyfriend, Tony. He has been searching for Jenna to ask her a few questions about what she talked with his son during their last call. Before the man can speak any further, Sam attacks him from behind and eliminates him. On the other hand, we see Jenna getting some consciousness and trying to flee. Somehow, she manages to jump out of the window and get into the old man's car. Ellie and Sam also put the old man's corpse inside the same car and drive it away. Jenna, hiding in the back of the car, has no idea about what's going on. With Ellie following the car, Sam drives the car and makes it fall down a cliff with Jenna still inside. Jenna screams in fear, but nothing can stop the car from crashing. In the next scene, we see a name, Miles, written somewhere in blood. After that, we are introduced to Mary, who is a psychic researcher. One day, Mary watches a video about a guy named Simon, who depicts himself as a messenger of the dead. In the video, he is naked and claims to contact the dead people and display their messages to their loved ones. Mary ignores the video at first, but later, Simon pays a personal visit to Mary and persuades her to experiment on him. Shortly after, we are shown about Mary and her son Miles, who is suffering from leukemia at an early age of 7. He passes away after some days, but not before saying to Mary that he likes to stay closer to her. After that, the scene shifts to Mary, who is ready to perform an experiment on Simon. During the experiment, Simon is naked inside a room and does the same procedure as shown in the video before. When the lights go out, we can hear some strange and unusual sounds coming from the room. As soon as the lights are back, Simon is seen lying on the floor, shaking. Mary enters the room and notices several messages written on the wall. One of the messages appears to be from her late son, Miles, which says that he is not sleeping. Mary is shocked to see this and believes that the message is from her son. After that, she starts showing interest in Simon and studies him more. Later, they end up being a couple and start a foundation together. Mary feels like she is closer to her son whenever she is with Simon. But one day, Mary catches Simon sleeping with some other girl. Right then, Simon reveals to Mary that he is nothing more than a fraud who is hired by Mary's ex-husband to trouble her. He further adds that all the experiments he participated in are all fake. Mary is devastated to hear all this and can do nothing about it, as she is the one who introduced Simon to all her foundation investors. Sad, Mary enters Miles' room and cries, hugging one of his toys. Shortly after, she notices a message "Bring him to us" being written on the nearby blackboard. In the next scene, we see Mary having a meeting with a group of investors, where she announces that Simon will give them a live demonstration about his abilities. She takes Simon to Miles' room and locks the door from outside. After some time, we can see that many dead people appear around Simon and start writing their story on his body. The power of the area also goes out and Simon falls back on the floor. Mary opens the door and pities the injured Simon. We are then shown the name of Bennett written in blood. The scene shifts back to Bennett and Steve, who are traveling to Ravenmoor in search of the Book of Blood. They are traveling in a green car, which is the same one that nearly hit Jenna. On their way, Steve tries to tell Bennett that Ravenmoor is a haunted area and that nobody dares to go there. However, Bennett, who is blinded by money, urges Steve to drive and also consoles him that they will return as soon as they find the $1 million book. As soon as they enter the area of Ravenmoor, the battery of their car dies and they are stuck. Steve notices the ghost of his mother and follows her to the abandoned church. Bennett walks behind Steve and tries to stop him. Later, he finds Steve holding a gun at his throat and ready to finish himself. Bennett tries to stop him from doing so, but it seems that Steve has already been persuaded by his deceased mother. Steve eventually eliminates himself, while Bennett watches in horror. Following this, Bennett gets out of the church and comes near to the car. To his surprise, the car starts itself and starts chasing him. Bennett runs to save his life and reaches Mary's house. There, he searches for the Book of Blood and enters inside Miles' room. He finds old Mary there alongside Simon, whose body is all carved with stories written by the dead. Bennett asks her about the Book of the Blood, to which Mary replies that Simon is the Book of the Blood. Mary then tells Bennett that he is not the first one to come there searching for the book and that his story is already written in the book. After saying this, she reveals Bennett's name written on Simon's body. Shortly after, Bennett is chased by a large number of rats. He runs outside the house to save himself and uses a pointed tool to kill the rats which have entered inside his body. However, instead of killing the rats, he accidentally stabs himself several times. In the following scene, we see Bennett reaching Ellie and Sam's house asking for help. When he reaches there, Sam is handling Gavin's corpse. Suddenly, Ellie attacks him from behind and kills him. The scene then shifts to Jenna, who is in the hospital, having survived the accident. The police tell Jenna's parents that they found her body alongside Tony's father's, and they believe that he wanted to eliminate Jenna as well as himself. Soon, we are shown some flashbacks of Jenna's final conversation with Tony. Both of them are the mentally ill patients trying to recover themselves. Here, Jenna is the one lying to Tony and instigating him to jump from a top building, telling him that there is life after death. As Tony is a patient of depression, he does not think much and jumps from the roof. At present, Jenna feels guilty for instigating Tony to jump and cries remembering it. After she recovers from the accident, she voluntarily visits the evil couple, Ellie and Sam, and asks them to end her pain. The couple perform their experiment on her and stitch Jenna's eyes and ears, burying her into one of their chambers. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.